So today we are looking at the ALG Linux. So here is the ALG Linux. So the boot menu, I'm going to boot it in the live boot first. So I'm going to show you what it's based on. You already know what it is based on, but I'm going to give all the information as soon as the desktop layout is loaded. So the booting process will take like 2 or 3 minutes usually in my PC. And also I'm running it on the virtual machine, which is a VMware with 60 GB of hard disk, 8 GB of RAM, and my CPU is i5 1240p. And we are going to discuss about all the features and about it's based on and the desktop environment and all those things. And I'm going to also show you how to download the ISO file, so you don't need to worry about how to download the ISO file. And also I'm going to give you the system requirements of this Linux distro. Usually you don't have any other information about this Linux distro because it's not a well-known Linux distro. It was only available in the source force, so I'm going to show you how to download, and I'm going to give some information about the ALG Linux. So the name itself says as the ALG Linux, so there is nothing anything there. It's kind of like a GUI kind of thing. So I'm going to discuss all those things as soon as the desktop layout is loaded. So let's wait and see how much of time it's going to take to load the desktop layout. So here is the desktop layout. So here is our welcome screen. So I didn't touch anything, not even the display settings. So I'm going to show you how much of resource it's going to consume as soon as it's booted up. So let's open Task Manager. So I didn't even change the display settings, so keep that in mind. So these are all the base or the resources. As soon as you boot up, this will be running. So these are all the process running right now, and RAM is almost like a 1 GB. And CPU is pretty much under 20-25%. So we're going to run like a minute or 60 seconds to get the stable graph. So instead of waiting for a minute, just let's check other information and get throughout the video. So here is the information of the Task Manager. You get the 1.5.7 version. So I'm going to keep the Task Manager in the right side corner, and we are going to change the display settings. Let's change the display. So it's a beta version or the beta ISO file I downloaded. So it's not the stable ISO file. So you need to understand that also. So let me change to my monitor resolution, which is 1920 into 1080. And I'm going to keep this configuration. And there is no release notes or anything like that. So I'm going to give all the information. So whatever usually I open, and I'm going to give all the information throughout the video. So here is some auto start, so I'm going to turn it off. And the dark theme, I don't want the dark theme. So if you want to install the ALG Linux, you can install. And here is the update system, update mirror list, screen resolution. Here is the GitHub files and Discord. So let's first open the internet browser, which is a Firefox web browser. And I'm going to show you the website and also the downloading process first. And then I'm going to put some commands and get all the distro information, like the desktop environment information and also the what it's based on and all those things. So let's open the Firefox web browser. Here is our browser. So usually it will take like 20 to 25 seconds usually. So maximum will be 20 seconds and minimum will be like 10-15 seconds. That's the usual time it takes in my PC or the virtual machine. So the version you get is 129.0.1. So this is the latest version of the Firefox. So let me type in about and support and hit enter. You should be getting some browser information and also some distro information. For example, right now we are using the Linux kernel 6.10.5. So the latest version of Linux kernel should be here. Just type in like a Linux kernel, and the official website will be the first link. So this is the first link. So let's see what version is the latest or the stable version. So the stable version is 6.10.6, which is released on 8th 19th 2024. And also there is also the release candidate 4 of 6.11. So we just need the 6.10.6, which is a stable version, and we have using the 6.10.5, which is just 0.1 update lesser, so it's the latest version you are getting. And here is the QoS, not the OS theme, it's a QoGear Lite. I don't know how it's pronounced, but here is the theme of the operating system. So here distribution ID, it says as ALG Linux. Here is the version. So you just need to scroll it down to get some additional information like 8 GB of RAM, 3.9 GB of disk space available. So you should be getting all the information just pausing the video. You can just pause this video and read everything here. So I'm just going to scroll it down like this. And here are some other information like a monitor resolution. The window protocol is X11. The desktop environment is XFCE. So just scroll it down like this. You should be getting all the distro information and some browser information. So let's go to the official website. So let me open the SourceForge website. SourceForge. So you just need to click like that, and the first link will be the sourceforge.net. So you can directly type in sourceforge.net, and you just need to type like a ALG. So let me type in. I don't know why it's not allowing me to do it. So let's remove the AA. So there was some minor lag, I guess. ALG. And here is the ISO file or the distro. So it's a fast offline graphical installer for the ALG Linux. So here is some of the information. Plasma 6 is here, and other information is right here. You can just read it from here. Here are some of the information. So let's try to find the official website. So there is a GitHub page here. So the name, it says Arka Linux GUI. So I already made a lot of videos on this Linux distro, but I don't really remember anything about this because I'll be posting 2 videos daily without missing. So it's pretty much very hard to remember anything. So here are some of the information. If you want, you can just read it from here, or else you can just go to the website and do whatever you want. So I'm going to show you the downloading process. So here is the summary. In order to go to files, you just need to click on files, and I already mentioned that I'm using a beta version. So here is the beta version, which is the 2024-08-16th, which is August 16th, and they have like a 2 desktop environments. Right now I'm using the XFCE desktop environment, but if you want the KDE Plasma pure version, I'm going to make that video also. But right now we are using the ALG XFCE. So let me show you the downloading. So it's going to take like a 5 seconds, and after that you should be having your ISO file downloaded. So link will be ready, and the ISO file will be starting the download here in the downloads. So it's a 2 GB of ISO file, and I'm using a VPN, so it's kinda slow. But you should be good with like a 5-10 minutes of downloading. So if you have like a 10 Mbps, you should be good with like a 7 minutes. It's going to take like a 7-8 minutes. So that was all the information from the browser. So we need to open the terminal, and let's type in some commands to get some distribution information. So let's make it bigger. So I'm clicking on Alt, so it's not allowing me. So let's try like this. So this is the issue with the mouse pointers always. So it's not allowing me still right now. So let me check the version. So the terminal you get is a 1.1.3. So let me type in NeoFetch first, and hit enter. So it says command not found. INXI-SV8. So it still says command not found. uname-a, which we already saw that. cat:/etc:/issue. So it says ALG Linux. So let's close it. So let's check what applications you get. So First, let's check the about XFCE. So you get the GTK version 3.24.43, and here is some other information. Here is the about. So let's check what applications you get pre-installed in this ALG Linux or the Arka Linux. So these are all the things you get from the Arka Linux. So you don't get any bloatware or anything like that, you just get the XFCE desktop environment, as you can see. So most of them, almost like a 95% of the applications are from the XFCE desktop environment. So there is no bloatware, so it's clearly up to you to decide whether to use this Linux distro or not. So I'm going to show you the installation also. So you guess you should be having like a Arch Linux with a GUI. So it's based on Arch Linux. So it's not an Arch Linux, it's a Arch Linux based distribution, which is Arka Linux, or else you can call it as a ALG Linux. So you get the Calamares installer version 3.3.6. So this is a beta version. I don't think there will be more to show here. You just need to get all the information. So the language, you can select any language here. Click on next, choose your location. You can choose the map or you can choose the drop down menu. And also here are some customization. If you want, you can customize according to your wish, or else you can keep it default of choosing your location. And you should be choosing your keyboard here. Automatically it chooses your keyboard, but if anything is wrong, you just fix your keyboard there. Choose your language for the keyboard and the variant, and if you want, you can test your keyboard, and also you can switch your keyboard right here. And after everything, you just need to click here, next, and you need to choose your storage or the installation drive. Again, if you are a newcomer or a new Linux user, then you need to watch tutorials of installation in the YouTube. So I didn't make any tutorials of separate installation tutorials in my channel, but it's better to watch some other channels who actually made like a installation tutorial only. The videos will be a bit like a 2 or 3 minutes lengthy, so it's good to watch those videos. Watch like a 2 or 3 videos and you should be good with the installation. So if you choose the erase disk, it's going to install first it's going to erase everything in that installation drive, and it's going to install the Arka Linux or the ALG Linux as a single boot in the specific drive. Here are the options. And the manual partitioning is like a dual boot option. You should be getting dual boot options in the boot menu. And also you need to create a partition before choosing this manual partition. And in the manual partition, it's going to install the ALG Linux on that partition. So it's a single boot and a dual boot. So that's the difference. So it's better to watch tutorials and install the Linux distro if you liked it. So always try it in the live boot or in the virtual machines. Then if you're satisfied, then go with the installation. If you choose the erase disk, you can provide the encryption by providing the password, which should be same in the boxes. If you don't want the encryption, you just need to uncheck it. And here is the master bootloader location. So it says master boot record for the specific drive, and the next one will be like a system partition, and the other will be like a do not install a bootloader. So if you watch the video, then you should be knowing how to install the Linux distro. So the first it will be like this, current drive will be like this, and after installation it will be like this. So after clicking on next, you should create a user account or the account creation here. What username it says, and I'm going to provide some random things. For example, 9to5 Linux. And if everything is going good, you should be seeing a tick mark here. What name do you want to use to log in? I'm going to choose the numericals, and you should be seeing some error here. As you can see, if I choose the numerical, it says as your username must start with a lowercase letter or an underscore. So I'm going to type in some random things like unboxing, I guess. And what is the name of this computer? If you want to keep same thing like this, you can copy it, and if you don't want, you just keep it like this. And the next one is like a choose a password to your keep your account safe. I'm going to provide simple password like 1 to 6 numbers. And if everything is going good, you should be seeing a tick mark. If you want to log in automatically without asking for the password, just check it. And if you want to use the same password for the administrator account, If you want the same password as this one, you can just check it. If you want the different password, just uncheck it and provide the other password for the administrator account. And after clicking on next, you should be seeing a summary of whatever you choose in the previous installation steps, and there will be like this. And if anything is wrong and if it's not proper here, just go back and fix all those things. And after clicking on install, it's going to take like a 20 to 25 minutes. It depends on the PC and depends on the ISO file. In this case, it's a beta version. I don't really recommend to install anything which is a beta version or a development version or an alpha version. Always download the stable version and try to install those things. But in this case, when beta version, if you install the beta versions, in some cases there will be some issues like bugs, and also there will be some installation failed sometimes, and also the screen may go black or it may froze on the screen. So it will be stuck like that in rare cases, but it's not usually commonly happens. But it's better to always download the stable version. But if you are a distro hopper, or if you are a guy who tests the always new Linux distros, you can try it in the virtual machine. You can do that like that, but don't try it in the main PC or work PC, because I don't want you to ruin your PC. And also, I think that's the installation process. So I'm going to close the installation here. So let's close the installation because I need to make another video. So let's check some other things like a desktop features. You already know it's a XFCE desktop environment, so you should be seeing same things as the XFCE. So there is nothing customization or anything change here. So you're just getting the XFCE desktop. Instead of that, it's better to go with the Arch Linux and install the XFCE desktop environment on your own. And you can do that whatever you want. But if you still want to try it, try it. So here is the panel about version, and also you already know you can customize these panels according to your wish. You can go to panel preferences and customize anything you want. If you want to add anything, you can add it there. So I'm going to close in everything. So let's check the desktop backgrounds. So there is nothing preloaded things in here. You just get the basic XFCE desktop environment and same wallpapers. And just few wallpapers are added, like the butterfly one and some flowers and all those things. So there is nothing more here. So I really don't think I'm going to recommend this distro, but it's clearly up to you. So if I'm going to recommend, it's better to download the Arch Linux and install the XFCE desktop environment. It's better to download the stable Arch Linux and install the XFCE desktop environment. So it will be a good idea instead of downloading this beta version and installing on the main PC or work PC. That would be a worst idea, I guess. So here are some of the customization of the file manager. About tuner is a 4.18.1. So really there is nothing in this Linux distro, which is ALG Linux distribution. So there is no pre-installed applications also. You just get the basic XFCE desktop environment, which is based on Arch Linux. So it's ALG Linux. So again, this is a beta version, so I'm not going to recommend anything here. But if you're a distro hopper and also if you want to try new things, so there is literally nothing new here. So if you still want to try it, you can try it in the virtual machines or a live boot. I'm not going to recommend it in the main PC or work PC. If you ask me about the system requirements, so I'm having like a 8 GB of RAM. So it's literally consuming 1.2 GB of RAM. And these are all the processors and the CPU. So you need to have like a 2 GHz dual core processor and also 4 GB of RAM, and I think it's going to run on this hardware specs. And also for the hard disk, you need to have like a 50 GB. So I'm not going to say again and again, but I'm going to repeat sometime like in any 1 or 2 videos. That's it's 2024. You need to have like a 2 GHz dual core or like a i3 CPU. And also you need to have like a 50 GB of hard disk, and also the RAM should be like a 4 GB at least, in order to run like a 70 to 80% of Linux distros. Whatever the Linux distro it is, it's better to have this much of hardware specs, and you're going to run like a 70 to 80% of Linux distro. And try to ignore all those heavy resource consuming Linux distros, which is like for example Deepin and some other Linux distros which consumes a lot of resources. So I'm not going to recommend those type of Linux distros for you if you have a low-end PC. At least if you have this much of hardware specs, then it's better to go with some like a Ubuntu, Linux Mint, MX Linux, and Zorin OS. There are like a bunch of good Linux distros which consumes a bit little resources, which have like a XFC desktop environment and the Cinnamon, Mat, OpenBox. This type of Linux distros is good for you. So it's already a well-known. Don't go with looks. It's always a worst idea to go with the looks. It's better always go with the stable things. So you can customize anything in any type of Linux distros. So you can do that if you have like a time, and if you have internet, watch some tutorials, and you should be good installing all those panels and changes in your own Linux distros. So just give some time and always find the stable Linux distros, and then customize according to your wish. And always find those Linux distros which has a lot of lifespan, like a 5-6 years, like a Linux Mint 22 Vilma, which has like a few years of support. So go with that type of Linux distros, and you should be good with those type of Linux distros. And at the end of the video, these are all the resources. I didn't make any stress test because there are literally no applications to make a test here, because there is no GIMP and Kdenlive, Blender and all those things. Like a bit of resource consuming applications can make a stress test easier, but in this case you just have the Firefox web browser and some little resource consuming applications. So I can't make any stress test video here. People who doesn't know what is stress test, it's like opening a bunch of applications which consumes a lot of resources to see whether the Linux distro will handle day-to-day tasks, or we should be getting any like freezes or the bugs, or maybe like a not responding signs, anything like that. We can just judge it on those type of things, whether to use that Linux distro or not. So that's the meaning of a stress test in my channel. So I think I'm going to end the video here, because of there is nothing literally in this Linux distro, and also it's a beta version, so I'm not going to say anything, and I don't want any to waste your time here. So I'm going to end the video here. So at the end of the video, these are all the resources. So I'm going to show you the logout screen, and I'm going to end the video. So let's log out and see what desktop sessions we get still. So it was pretty stable throughout the video, that I'm going to say that thing, but even it's a beta version, it was working properly. So you don't have any password for this Linux distro. You just get the XFCE session and accessibility and date and time and power. So there is really nothing here. I'm going to end the video here. Thanks for watching. Peace out.